Hi everyone, and welcome to the next video tutorial using MyMemories digital scrapbooking software. Version 4 is the latest release of MyMemories and is now available at mymemories.com. I'm Lisa, and I help host the Facebook page and blog for MyMemories, and today I'd like to show you a super fun feature that you can do with text and shapes in MyMemories version 4 that I didn't even know you could do until a few minutes ago. Amy told me about this feature, and I thought I would quickly do up a video to show you how it works so you can use it too. I'm not quite sure where we're going to designate it because it has some fun things to do with text and it has some fun things to do with shapes. So I'll show you how to do it and you figure out what you're going to do with it. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on a blank page in a project that I've kind of already got open. We've been working on some word art over the last couple of days on the Facebook page, and there's just some things at the bottom that are in that album that I've already been working on. But today what I'm going to do is show you some things that you can do, and I'm just going to start with a blank page. So I've already added a text box to the page. You can click here on the right-hand side control panel, click open the text panel, add a text box, and then just type some text into a box. For this particular demo, it's not really going to matter what it says. I just want to kind of show you how it works. So I've already typed a little story in here about, a day that we went to visit the zoo and some of the fun things that we did. So that's just kind of hanging up here in the corner on our page. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is go down a couple of steps under the text panel, and you'll find shapes. I'm going to go ahead and pop that open. And what I'm going to do there is I'm just going to choose one of the shapes out of any of the categories that you have available, including the user category, which are shapes that you've created and altered yourself. I'll show you a little bit about that in a few minutes, but first I want to show you this, and then if you want to know anything about manipulating and editing the shapes, you can hang around till the end of this video. Okay, so I just happen to be under Originals, which are the main choices that were available in MyMemories. So I'm going to click on the heart option, and then I'm going to apply it to my page. So when that gets added to the page, you can see that it's just empty, blank, and then my text box is still hanging out over here. For this technique, you can use the fill buttons on the shapes panel to fill the shape with either a background paper or a photo or even a solid color without any problem. So you can always go back and do that. I'm not going to do that during this demo just so it doesn't distract from the look of the text so you can see what it does. But what I'm going to do is I am going to select the shape. I'm also going to hold down my Control key or Command key, depending on whether you're on a PC or a Mac, so that they're both highlighted. You can also just click and drag to highlight. You can click Control or Command A if that's all that's on your page. However you need to go ahead and select both of these items, just go ahead and do that. Now, when I have both of them selected or highlighted, where you can see the squares around both so you know that they're both selected, I'm going to right-click, and then I'm going to click Attach to Shape. And what that's going to do is it's going to take the text that's in the box here and fill the shape that I've selected with that particular text. So I'm going to go ahead and attach to shape, and then you can see that the text takes on the shape of the box. The text in the box takes on the shape that we've chosen. That's a really fun feature, and we had kind of forgotten that this was worked into version 4. So it was one of those things that we even kind of rediscovered very recently, and I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you because I thought it was really cool. Now, there are some things that you can do. If by chance you have too much text, you can always enlarge your shape, and it will give you more room to accommodate the text that you have typed in there. Now, if you want to detach them, right-click again and then detach from the shape, and then you can go ahead and make any changes that you need to the text box. Whoops, let's do undo because I think it just messed up my text. Okay, now I'm going to re-detach it, and then there we go. Then I can change the font or the size or any of those things to manipulate exactly how I want this to look. Let's find like a fun font that will give us a different look. Let's see if we can get it with cursive. Okay, now this is kind of a tiny font, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a lot bigger so it will fill up a little bit more of that text, a little bit more of that shape. Okay, so it doesn't matter what font you choose. Remember that you just click them both, click Attach to Shape, and then you can add the text into the shape box that you have. If you need to detach from shape, go ahead and do that. Then another thing that you might do that will give you a little bit better look, especially if you're going with like a heart shape or something like that, is go ahead and use the alignment tools in your text panel to center that text first, and then it will go ahead and I think you can even do the vertical alignment as well to get it to work a little bit better here. So now it's sort of centered in the text box, and then when you re-add it, it should be more centered the way it's spread out. Now, anytime you change the font or change the size, you may have to play around with it a little bit to get the shape the right size to accommodate the text. But just by resizing it a couple of different times, you usually will be able to figure that out pretty easily. Now, once you have that done, you can always add shadows. You can always add mattes to give it a little bit more clarity. You can always add a background paper to it at that point in time. I'm just going to choose kind of a light gray polka dotted one so it doesn't distract too much from the text. But all of those things will function just as the shape normally does, just that the text has already been added to it. Now, of course, you can make all those changes to the shape first and then add the text. However you want to work it is fine. But I just wanted to show you that that is an option that you have with MyMemories, and it's a really cool way to incorporate a little bit more design into the text that you're adding, such as journaling and that type of stuff. Remember that you have frames available, so if you're looking for a frame with particular wording around it, then instead of choosing the heart shape like I did, just go ahead and choose one of the frame options and work the text that way. Now, the other thing I'll show you real quick, let's go over onto another blank page, is going to be in the Shapes panel. Remember that you also have the opportunity to edit your shapes. So that's something that you can do to create a custom shape if you're trying to create a look for your page and you don't have a shape that matches kind of how you want it to fit. This is how you'd be able to do that. I'm going to go ahead and add a shape, and then I'm just going to start with the square. But you can use any of the options, any of the basics or frames or miscellaneous. And then once you're finished, they'll be saved in this users option category here. So I'm going to apply that square. Whoops, no, I'm not. I'm going to remove that square. Then I'm going to go back to add, and then I'm going to select the shape that I want. And before I apply it to the page, I always forget to do that, I'm going to come over here and use the Edit Shape button, and I'm going to go ahead and click that, and that will bring up the Shapes Editor panel. What this allows me to do is make some changes to the shape before I add it to my page, and also allows me to save it to reuse it if I wanted to add it again. Now, you'll see here the basic shape, and it defaults to show the anchors, which are these 4 points, or any, if you have any other shape, it's just points around the shape. So what I'm going to need to do is select a side that I want to edit. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it will show me which side I happen to have edited. And I'm going to either insert a point or insert a curve. Now, if I insert a point, that allows me to make any sort of manipulation to it, and it will stay straight on both sides. If I insert a curve, then it will allow me to make a curved edit. Then I can go ahead and select this particular straight point, and then it gives me another curve that I can add to that. So by going around the square or whatever shape you have chosen, it makes it very easy to create some kind of cool looking custom shapes just by making a couple of, random choices. And, you can be very specific about this if you have something particular in mind that you're trying to replicate, but you also can kind of get just some, kind of crazy looking, different kind of things that you could do with this particular shapes editor. So once I have it kind of, into the configuration that I want, now, of course, this is kind of just a crazy little, doodah shape, but I kind of wanted to just show you what it would do. Then when you click OK, this will allow me to name the shape. So I'm just going to call this random crazy shape. And I'm going to save it. Now, what that will do is it will add it to my layout. I can enlarge it. I can give it a shadow just like any of the other shape functions would work. I can fill it with paper, fill it with photo, merge it with text like I just showed you that you could do a minute ago. But then what's cool is the next time I go to add a shape and I go to users, it will find that same shape that I just created in my user category. Remember that you can also add new shapes folders names like you can in some of the other categories now. So if you wanted to do just like a flower category, you could create a new folder over here so that you would have your own new category. But any of the shapes that you've previously created are in here, and that's where those new random ones will show up. Like this one looked a little bit like a button, so I did that kind of just playing around with some of the shapes that the editing feature that I had before. So those are a couple of quick tips with shapes. A really cool new feature that you can use with your text and with shapes, and something that I just wanted to make sure that you knew how to do. So if you need any further assistance or any other help, please feel free to let me know. You can always send me an email at lisaj@mymemories.com, and I'm happy to give you as much help as I possibly can. We're doing new videos all the time, just so that you're aware of all the functions that are already in the software, as well as some of the new features that have been added with version 4. If there's ever anything that you would like to see done in a video, please feel free to drop me a line, put a note on Facebook page, any of those kinds of things that you want. So I think I'll wrap this one up for tonight because I want to go ahead and get it processed and posted for you. And if there's anything else I can do for you, drop me a line. Otherwise, I will see you on Facebook. Have a great night.